Why is President Biden in Angola? Angola is a country in southern Africa that's twice the size of Texas, and Biden traveled there this week to talk about trade and investment projects. But that's just skimming the story. The US is looking to invest in Africa more broadly because, simply put, it's part of the competition with China. And it's not just competition over influence in Africa, but also for access to critical minerals needed for batteries to make electric vehicles, smartphones, and clean energy technologies. Angola's neighbor, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, produces about 70% of the world's cobalt, which is a key mineral in these batteries. So the Biden administration is developing an 800-mile railway called the Lobito Corridor. Lobito. Yes, I'm 13. This corridor will transport minerals and other goods from the Congo through neighboring Zambia to the coast of Angola for export, which is win-win-win because it supports investment in these countries, which creates jobs and stability there. It enhances American influence, especially instead of China's, and it supports an American economic and national security goal to reduce dependence on oil. The project costs $3 billion, which is a lot, but it's nothing in comparison to China's investments in Africa. Geek out with me. As part of its Belt and Road Initiative, China has invested $679 billion into infrastructure development projects around the world. But these projects have left many countries in debt. China's investments into Angola's development over the last 20 years, for example, have put Angola into more than $42 billion in debt, which is more than any other African country. These have become known as Chinese debt traps, where a country will owe so much money to China that they end up having to give up land or infrastructure when they can't pay the debt back. So the US is looking to benefit from these debt traps and use American investment as a means of competing with China's influence across the continent. Now, there's another interesting piece of this story. The US has a complicated history with Angola because the US supported Portuguese colonialism in its past and then supported Angola's opposition party during the Cold War when Angola was aligned with the Soviet Union. Historians also believe that more than a quarter of all slaves brought to the US were taken from Angola. So while he was there, Biden visited Angola's National Museum of Slavery, along with Wanda Tucker, who is an African-American woman from Virginia who traced her ancestry back to Angola. And he said in his speech there that this partnership between our two countries holds a lesson for the world, that two nations with a shared history of slavery on the opposite sides of the Cold War can stand shoulder to shoulder and work together for the mutual benefit of our people.